apologize for that Mickey Mouse voice. Just showing that there's some damage on the subfloor and how there is some supply lines for like a toilet supply that are connecting that valve. We had to delicately cut around these water lines. The subfloor had enough rot that the customer wanted to go ahead and replace it. And so that's what we did. Getting the shower valve assembled and ready to be plumbed in. You can see here on the floor of the terracotta looking tile, there's a broken piece right there to the right. That actually happened whenever we were demoing the floor out. And right here I'm just getting the wall prepared for some blocking. Trying to keep it as clean as possible. The whole project just is dusty. Now we're doing our blocking for our bench. I think it's a 20-inch wide, 12-inch deep bench that we got going on over there. And now I'm notching the actual wall studs out for some more blocking. Just putting a 2x4 in there, mounted and screwed. And then I've already got the backer board up. This is the first layer of waterproofing membrane, and then go straight to me putting down the mud bed. I'd already installed the flow fix drain, and then I put my thin set down. Then I put the schulter membrane down and tucked it into the corners. So I do it many different ways. On this job in particular, I just went ahead and put some mesh tape in the corners. And then I put some more sealant on that and went ahead and put the second coat of membrane, and I just went ahead and painted over the sheet membrane on the floor, and there's the third coat. I even painted down into the drain. You can see how it's turned yellow there, and everything should be good. It's supposed to have one coat. It's supposed to be sufficient, so we went ahead and did 3. And here I am laying out the shower bottom floor, trying to figure out honestly how many pieces I'm going to need. So the bonded flange, it's just stuck with thinset, and it does very, very well being stuck with thinset. And here I'm laying in just a couple full pieces and then putting the rest in just individuals wherever they fit. And it's very fast, but I'm actually tamping it in with a 2x4, and you'll see it zoom across the screen here in just a minute. There it is. Alright, so the shower floor is done, sponging it off, cleaning it off. Now we get started with the grout. This is a Mape FA grout. It does dry very fast. It's probably been 10 minutes since I smeared it, and it's already dry enough to start washing it. I used a Mape Careflex, not Careflex, yeah, Mape Careflex Plus. It's, I believe that's what it is. I can't remember. There's the SG, which is standard grade, and then there's the Plus, and there's a Super. This whole job we use just the Plus. So here we go with the tile, making sure every single row is level. The walls are so out of plumb that it's almost impossible to get them plumb. I'd have to have them off the wall at least an inch. I made sure that there's, on that bench, we got about 1.5 inches not an inch and a half, maybe an inch of fall in that short span. I really want that water to jump off of there. Around this niche, you can't see it, but since the wall has waterproof membrane on it, we just went ahead and put some sealant in that crack around the niche itself and in the screw holes. So it is ready to rock and roll. We're knocking out our living cliffs. This is the next day. Little meet and greet with the homeowner. And here we go on wall 2. Making sure that jamb is straight, actually trimming it. And start off with our level row on the bottom, deading into the schulter rail. And cutting around this little bench was tricky. It was probably a 3/8 inch cut on the bottom, just trying to get it not to break. Making sure every row was perfectly level. On the wall to the left, you can see these 2 pieces of blue tape. That's actually my marker for where the stud is that goes from wall to wall to make sure that when we put our handrail on, it's going to be all right. It's going to be within that zone. So, just going up the wall slow and sure. Every single piece was cut with a grinder. It was so hard when I would try to use a cutting board, it would just break unevenly. So you just kind of get in a rhythm where you just get used to using the grinder, and that's exactly what I did. I didn't even try to keep using a cut board. This job is almost an hour away from town and my house, so I didn't want to keep breaking tile. I apologize for all of these long pauses. Here I'm working on the bench again, getting the schulter rail in. You can see behind me the bench is done. Now we're rocking on this pipe wall, making sure everything's cut nice and tight. Now here's where the curveball came. The customer had a gray tile just like the bottom with the size that I'm laying on the top with the basket weave pattern. And her and her husband decided that they wanted to go with this brick color. And you know what? They're paying the bill, so I do what I'm told, and that's what I've done. So we're just doing the back of the niche now. They chose a really unique decorative liner. I've never seen that color in my life. Here I'm doing a 1/2 inch rip on the top. The light goes out on me as I'm working. Now we're doing this curb. The inside cut was pretty tricky. It was a 1/4 inch. The outside was an inch. I think all in all the curb was 1.5 inches high, which will still give me that 2-inch minimum for the top of the curb to the drain grate itself, which is within code. Here I'm trimming out the niche. I forgot to mention, whenever I laid down the sheet membrane, I actually I tucked it into the corners, and then I put sealant over it and waited for it to dry, and then I painted over it, and then I put the mesh tape over that. So here I'm grouting it, washing. The actual liner is thinner than the tile on the wall, so I had to grout it first, and then I installed it, and then I went ahead and grouted the spots where I couldn't before because it would be trying to sag. So the FA grout sets up in about 20 minutes. So that's basically all it took, was about 20 minutes. And here's the next day, just showing what kind of sealer, and that we got everything sealed very, very nicely. A lot of healthy coats. And then once it's all sealed, I buffed it all off. Sealed the walls and everything else. I just wanted to show the floor. And these handrails, oh my, they are a chore. So here I am just doing my dowel holes through this tile, making sure I put the silicone into the hole, so I don't ever have to worry about no water getting in there. And then the cubby wall, we actually have some blocking, but the back wall, the back rail, I had to use the anchors. So here I am putting the shower valve on. Trying to make sure all that's buttoned up nicely and all secure. And then I come down to the end and realize I don't have a escutcheon. So I just showed a picture of the head on and the cubby done and the back wall and how it turned out. It turned out pretty nice.